USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Brooks Running reminds us that we're all powered by something. Whether it's the me-time energy of a run after a day at the office, the electrifying energy of your first marathon, or the infectious energy of a group run with your friends. No matter what energy powers you, Brooks has gear specifically designed to unleash it. So lace up and let it out. Let's run there. Visit brooksrunning.com today to learn more.
Welcome back to the Boundary Corner Podcast, a part of the College Huddle Network. Along with my partners Brian Siegler and Jonathan Talley, I am Curtis Wilson, and this episode is brought to you by Dr. Jeremy Counts down at the Counts Family Pharmacy, your friendly neighborhood pharmacy, 301 South Main Street. Before we get into everything tonight, this is your last week to enter for the 25th anniversary Gold Post Acrylic Pyramid. Remember, put $19.99 like so many people have already in the chat here, in the live chat or in the comments. Also, you have to be a subscriber. So when we spin the wheel and figure out who the winner is next week, if we don't see your name on the subscriber list, it's going to be thrown out. We're going to spin it again until we find 99 and a subscriber. So if you're doing all the work of putting $19.99 in, you have to subscribe to the channel. That's our big one. So it is going to be announced next week during Clemson week. Once we have the winner, we will be getting in touch with you to get that sent to you. Gentlemen, how are we doing on a winning Tuesday?
Busy. It's been a little bit of a busy day for me, buddy. But we're back at it again. It is a Victory Tuesday. Wasn't an inspiring Victory Tuesday, but a win is a win is a win is a win, especially when it keeps you in the ACC hunt.
Yeah, no, I'm with Brian when he says busy. So football season is over for us here in my household. My son is done with JV football, so he's moved on to basketball. So we're getting ready for basketball season to start up. But you know who's not done with football? The Hokies. They're still winning, 3-1 in conference play. Another win. I'll take them any way we can get them. 21-6 win over Georgia Tech. So yeah, feeling good, man. Back in the saddle with my guys. Chat is already going. Got somebody commentating in the chat saying the podcast will start momentarily. Hey, we already getting it. We ready to roll.
We are ready.
It has begun.
And all these folks putting this in, we appreciate
crank it up.
That,
crank
guys.
it up.
Appreciate that, guys. By the way, Steven, I get it, man. Don't worry, Steven. It's going to be on YouTube for you or on your favorite podcast source tomorrow. Well, let's get into telling the truth on this Tuesday as we do talk about a 26-6 victory over Georgia Tech. First thing, the first time since 2012. We'll say that again. The first time since 2012. My son and Brian's son had not been born the last time we beat Georgia Tech at home. That's not a lie. That's crazy. Not a lie.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Since they were born. And the way I look at it, and y'all kind of said it, we're talking about a win tonight. We're not talking about a loss, even though we played like crap. But I'm going to put John
on
LaCroix
one side of the ball.
On one side of the ball. Hey.
I don't have a ton of nitpicks on the defense. I think offense was definitely uninspired outside of just being absolute hammers in the red zone.
And we'll talk about that. But I like what our buddy John LeCoq said. It was a Brian Stein spring win. And you know what? I'm sitting here. Go back in your memory banks, everybody. Those who are older. That was a Brian Stein spring win. Get a couple explosive plays, get it in the red zone, score touchdowns, defense, forces some turnovers, forces some stuff. That looked like a 2007 win in some cases. Not even bullshitting.
Yeah. And I mean, other than, I think we were probably a little less efficient in the run game than I think a lot of us anticipated we'd be in that game. I think, we knew that Georgia Tech was good up front, and we knew that more than likely they're going to get in there and load the box and force us to beat them through the air, which, isn't their strong suit defensively, but I think it's a good game plan against, what we're doing right now, just because we've been okay in the pass game, but we have not hit the home runs in the pass game that we would like to hit. And until we start taking the top off a little bit more, that's how teams are going to play us.
No, I agree. Totally. Go ahead, Curtis.
Well, I was going to say, that's the stuff that went bad. Hold that tight. Let's talk about what went good, Tally. Let's talk about the defense, man, because, first of all, Tally and Brian did not get to ride the Curtis Wilson roller coaster on Saturday afternoon because Curtis Wilson was at a baseball game literally from the time the game started to pretty much me getting in my car and hearing Bill Roth talking Jalen Jones' pick. So they didn't get to ride it. Tally, I appreciate all the updates on Saturday. You kept me sane and not pulling out my phone every 4 seconds to check the score. So what did you see from the defense Saturday?
Hammers, man. Like Brian said, hammers is just they were hitting, they were physical. When back got against the wall, they bounced off that wall and fought back, got in the corner and fought out like dogs. They didn't let nobody get in the end zone. When's the last time we could say that? Every time that it looked like something bad was going to happen, the defense stood up and stopped it. So that was definitely good to see because, again, like Brian said, the offense left a lot to be desired. So defense stepped up and did their job. And guess what, man? That's part of what a good team has to do. You struggle in one area, you pick it up in another area.
Yep. And I think the big thing for me was watching, kind of the success they were having getting off the field when they needed to a lot of the times there. So, that was important. We had talked about it being a key. They did well with that, and I think that's something that if we can keep that up and get the offense back the ball, even if they don't do a whole lot with it, you keep getting the team frustrated, keep stealing the momentum back, keeping them off their schedule. Good things are going to come because we know that this offense has some weapons. So if the defense can keep doing stuff like that, I think that'll eventually, work its way back into shape.
And Brian, you mentioned the money down 6 for 20. They got 0 fourth down conversions, and it was something like 6 for 15 or 6 for 16. I got to pull up the exact stats. Like they couldn't get much done on third. Like they'd get
6
something
for 20.
like 6 for 20 total on monies on third and fourth down. I mean, I'll take that every day, twice on Sundays. Let me ask y'all this because, again, I watched it condensed and I saw some highlights and some things here and there. But in y'all's opinion, and Coach Prime mentioned it, but he's actually mentioned it the last couple of weeks, why, and y'all played, so y'all can see things that I don't see. Why are the run fits getting better? Like, why? Like, what has changed really in this last month where he's chuckling over here, so I'm going to let Brian start.
Hey, there's already been a comment about it, what's changed. I mean, we kind of know what's changed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you talking about that right there?
Yeah. Keller has been the prophecy has finally been fulfilled. It took 3 years, and we finally got to a point where now we can say that Jaden Keller is a starting linebacker quality player for this defense. And he's always had the physical tools, and it's really just been the mental piece. And for all the, we bring in Brumfield. I think Brumfield has been a solid, if not spectacular, addition to the defense. But what he has done is given Keller someone to learn from and someone to be a sounding board for those mental aspects of playing linebacker at this level that he didn't have at all last year. And he had in a different capacity before that. So I think that's been kind of a leveling thing for him, and we're starting to see as the season's going on and he's getting some more interactions there, starting to see that come to fruition and starting to see him really put the pieces together mentally, because like I said, he's always had those physical traits. He's very athletic, he's got good length, he's the type of guy that you want to see in the middle of a defense, and he's starting to have the mentals to back that up and be able to go out there and lead the middle of the defense.
How about you, Tyler? What are you seeing?
Yeah, no, kind of what Brian's saying, but you also got to add on just the more and more people play together, they get better continuity. You kind of know what somebody's going to be. You feel them. You kind of play off of them. You play off their energy. Keontae Jenkins is playing well. He's coming up hitting people, kind of what we knew it could be, but it's not that hit somebody and then he's hurt for 2 series after that. He's hopping up. He's talking junk, getting back to the huddle, coming back, doing it again. I think he led us in tackles on Saturday. So, watching these guys that we know had some talent take just another step is good. That's what you want to see. That's why the fits are getting better. And I think Brumfield has a lot to do with that, just showing people how to be a pro. What he lacks in size, he makes up in, experience and just professionalism. You can hear him speak. I'm sure he's in that room telling the guys how to prepare for games and showing them how to prepare for games. And that's why you see somebody like, Jaden Keller take the next step.
Yep. And I'll tell you something else. Y'all saying that. I'm also looking at the depth at linebackers, another reason too, because if you stay fresher, you won't be as sloppy, right? You won't be as sloppy. Georgia Tech had 81 snaps. Total snaps. They passed the ball a lot because they were down a lot. But you want to know something? You want to know of the linebackers who played the most snaps? And I do consider Keontae Jenkins a linebacker.
Probably Jenkins or Woodson.
Jenkins and Woodson. Guess what? They both did. One did 62, one did 60. So there were 20-plus snaps. They weren't on the field. Lawson got 21. Brumfield got 22. Caleb Spencer got 15. And you got, Jaden Keller got 59. So it's not only that it's the unit 1 doing its job, unit 2 and the way they're mixing and matching, they're staying fresh. We truly do have a linebacker rotation where I think us three, if we were to say it, and I were to say, hey, guys, we're going to put Brumfield, we're going to put Lawson, and we're going to put Spencer out, y'all be like, okay, that's 3 good players that can make plays. It's not like this anymore of who's on the field. Oh, man, that ain't good. They're going to do something stupid. And I think that's helping as well, that those guys, you said it, Tally, they're all comfortable together. And now, regardless of combination, they're all getting comfortable. The other thing Saturday, I know some people might consider this a high number. I look at percentages. We only had 8 missed tackles on 81 snaps. Under 10, right at 10%. Take 10% all day on a game like that with 80-plus snaps. Now, you take 10% on 50, maybe not, but 80, I'd take that.
Yeah. And I think, you said it. I mean, you're going 6 deep at linebacker now, and I think some of that I think at the start of the year there was some hemming and hawing about the cross positional play there and things of that nature, but we're starting to see that level out a little bit, and now we're seeing again we got 60, we got 2 guys at just about every spot in there that can go out there and give you significant snaps and you not really feel bad about that exposure for them. Now that's key.
That is key. All right, one last piece I want to talk about here, and Tally, you mentioned it, but I didn't. I want to know if you knew it was this good. You mentioned every time they got backed up because they pushed us to the red zone a couple times, more than a couple times. After the game Saturday, this is the 4th ranked red zone defense in the country.
I didn't know it was that good.
That good, and especially and start thinking about the last few weeks. What happened at BC, where literally they started in the red zone and scored. They never got down there in any other time. And then go back to Stanford and even Miami. They only had like one inside the red zone. So this defense is it's not only a bend but not break, but in some cases it's effectively you're not even getting past the 50. If the sacks are going on, you're punting a lot and you're having what happened on third down. Hey, Brian, you alluded to this a little earlier. One other thing that went well, red zone offense. And anything y'all are seeing or what y'all are liking?
I mean, I think the big thing is that just clutch play, man. When we're looking at it, it seems like this defense tends to come up with some big plays in the red zone when we need them, whether it's to get off the field, force a field goal, whether it's a key turnover, whether it's a big stop on a 4th and 1 or 4th and short. I mean, they seem to always just have the right call in there when we need it. And that's been big, I think, in the games in the last month, but obviously big in a game like this Saturday where your offense wasn't doing a whole lot. You needed those stops in order to feel like you could keep the game at arm's length. And that's kind of what I felt like we did in this game. We never really, we didn't dominate. We definitely didn't dominate from a just pure yard standpoint, but we always kept them at arm's length throughout the game. And that was really on the defense and especially on that red zone defense.
Tally?
No, I agree. I mean, again, just kind of like Brian said, keeping it at arm's length. Defense just going out, playing hard, being able to rotate those guys in. Offense doing just enough for us to put the points on the board and take the game. So you kind of seen it, man, where the defense is like they was trying to give the offense a kick in the butt sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
true.
Okay, y'all messed up here. You made a bad play here. You did this. Then we come back with a pick. Give it to you in plus territory. We come back with a special teams play. Give it to you in plus territory. It's like, okay, go do something with it. So
do something with it.
Just kept grinding, man. Just kept grinding.
All right, I'm gonna make this real quick as we go over because there were some bad things, and even though we won the game, you always got to look at what we got to improve on. Do y'all know this? The last 3 games, 11 for 11 inside the red zone. 11
Did
for
not
11.
know that.
11 for 11. You know the last time we didn't score inside the red zone? Think about it. What's the play that pissed you off the most in the last 4 games?
Fake field goal.
Was it Miami?
Is that fucking fake field goal?
Yeah.
That's the last time we did not score in the red zone was right there. We scored in the red zone one time against them. Makes you a little bit upset because you think how we're doing it. Like if we would have just ran a normal play, we score a touchdown, and that game is history. All right, let's go over to the offensive line and let's talk about definitely the troubles are reappearing there. Brian, you looked at some film and what happened? Because obviously we 14 pressures on 31 dropbacks. That's way too much. But 111 of the 117s were after contact. So this wasn't just a pass pro issue. This was a run block issue as well. And if we don't have guys like Tuden and Drones who are absolute hosses to take down, this would not have been good.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at it, it's a combination of things here. The offensive line obviously didn't have a great game, but what the defense was doing, they were absolutely selling out for the run, and they were basically saying, Kyron, You got to beat us, especially in the intermediate and deep areas of the field. They were trying to take away as much of the short stuff as they could and take away as much of the run as they could. They did a pretty good job of doing that. But, at the same time, you got to be able to take advantage of what the defense is giving you. And they were giving us throws down the field, and we did not do a good job of taking advantage of that. Some of that was offensive line not giving Kyron time. Some of that was Kyron missing a couple of those shots down the field when he had those one-on-one situations. Some of that was just a combination of play calling and just not getting guys in spots of the field where Kyron could get comfortable. And I think that's kind of the theme of the day, is that we never, I think, had a chance offensively to get Kyron really comfortable in the passing game in those timing areas. And that kind of threw off his game as a whole when we look at him throwing the football deeper down the field.
Tyler, what about you? I don't know if you got to hear Brian. You got unfortunately disconnected there, but, couldn't run, struggles passing. We looked at the PFF, and some of these guys got really good grades, and they may have overall did fine, but overall as a unit, something we talked about, and I think this is the truth why you can't always judge PFF. We were talking about it before we got on tonight, Tally, me, you, and Brian. PFF never counts for like the big plays that screw things up. It's just, did you win or did you lose? Right. Because you could win on 30 dropbacks. You could win 20 of them. But what if the 10, you gave up 3 sacks that took you out of scoring range, that stopped drives? That's a hell of a lot more negative than somebody, giving up a slight pressure.
Yeah, there's no weight. There's no weight attached to the play-by-play grade. So,
but what do you think, Tyler? You got to see the game live in the moment. So, and I know you listen to Brian and you do second reviews yourself. But what was wrong with the offensive line with you?
It's kind of like Thomas kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit in the chat where he talked about the slow developing pass plays, things like that. Predictable play calling sometimes. That's the main 2 things. We'll just say that. The slow developing pass plays where first play of the game, you drop Kyron back to do whatever. We don't even get to see it because he's hit, 10-yard loss, and fumbles the ball. Thank the Lord we got on it. Like, you just don't need that. You don't need that. That's not what we do well. That's not what he does well. You know what I'm saying? I just think we can do some things different, and then it goes to the next one where I said predictable play calling, which might be what they were trying to do. Hey, let's, everybody's seen this. Let's do something different. Georgia Tech's defensive and offensive line were really good. Like they're solid. I won't say they're really good, but they're solid. They're going to be, when we look back on this, we're going to go, hey, that was one of the better lines that we faced. That was one of the better defensive lines that we faced. They were very physical. They were tough. You know what I'm saying? That you can tell that they're well coached. So it starts in the trenches, and sometimes we just got, you're going to get beat. And the only thing you can do to beat a better player on that play is to out-scheme him, which we did. And we got some points when we out-schemed them. So, I'll take that. But, yeah, the slow development plays and predictable play calling sometimes. Because, you got to think, Tootin had 80 yards. And that was a tough 80 yards to get. But a lot of the plays that he was running and that we ran for him were plays that we've run all year. And, like, if you're a decent defensive coordinator, like, you see the motions and you see the different setups and you're like, I know what's coming here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so got to find a way to throw some wrinkles in there and do some different things like that.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of going to pivot to what we're going to go to next and just talk about the offensive play calling because, first of all, the what have we been saying? We cannot be a 50-50 team. We were a 50-50 team Saturday and we won. Yeah. Thank you because, the honest truth is it's a prayer we won. But my thing is, and I want to talk to y'all about this because I'm sitting here watching condensed, watching some highlights, and I see what Georgia Tech's doing. And I know, like, we shut them down. Who cares what they're doing? if we attack like that,
we would look good doing that.
We would.
Yeah,
it would have been 42-6.
Right.
Not
Rolling the
Brian,
pocket, dumping off into the flats, hitting the crossing routes, different things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was alluding to when I was talking about we didn't do enough early in the game to get Kyron comfortable. Because, I mean, we talked about it on here before, and I'll keep preaching. I mean, when Kyron has confidence early in a game, he is a different football player. He is one of the best quarterbacks that you could have in the country when he is confident early in a football game. When he doesn't get that early confidence, he can be very average at times.
Seeing ghosts.
And when that happens, as a coordinator, you got to take a cue there and understand that I've got to get him comfortable. I've got to get him early wins. And I don't think, Tally, to your point, that opening play call, it's aggression and it's a little bit off your normal schedule, but at the same time, it probably plays into Kyron's biggest weakness as a thrower and your offense's biggest weakness as a whole in terms of drop back pass protection.
Right.
So, you kind of played a little bit into the defense's hands, even though you were mixing up what your normal script would be. So, that kind of puts you behind the chains early. And then you don't really kind of get into a good offensive rhythm until later in the first quarter there. And I think that's a big thing for this Virginia Tech offense is that you've seen anytime we start early, we score points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anytime we don't start early, it's a slog. And so that's something to keep an eye on, and that's something to monitor. And I think as a coaching staff, you got to address and say, we got to give this offense the chance to get some of those wins early. I mean, it doesn't always have to be the first drive. Like sometimes you're just going to have drives where they got your number right out the gate, but you got to find ways to get your quarterback comfortable in the passing game so you can lean on your run game because that is the strength of your team. But if you're not able to get your quarterback comfortable, that's when the defense can tee up in the box and take away your biggest asset, which is that rushing attack.
Well, let me ask this, Brian, and I hit you up solo on this, but Tally chime in as well. When they got to load in the box, and you could see it, I mean, watching condensed, you could see 7-8 guys around the box. They knew where we were running the ball at times. And what I didn't see were hot routes, quick throws, like you say, Tally, just something in the flat. They got 8 in the box. If you're doing anything like pulling Bashal out or J lane to the flat, or you're running a quick slant or a quick hitch or a quick out, sometimes that goes completely out of the playbook where I feel like we sit here, I listen to y'all and y'all would say, if you just ran a 4-yard slant where that linebacker snuck down into the box to J lane, if the cornerback ain't right on his hip and that safety don't make the right step, see ya. You're giving up a 50-yard play. And I feel like we're not seeing that as much this year. At least I'm not. Again, my eyes aren't as trained as y'all's, like we saw at times last year. I always go back to the Wake Forest play. And it was like an 8-yard slant. They loaded the box. There was one safety up, a little RPO. That safety did a false step. Howard put it right on J lane, and he housed it for 70 yards. And it's like, if you're going to loosen, why aren't – and Sheldon said it last week, and this is what irritates me. Kyron's intermediate passing game has gotten so much better this year, and it's like we just abandoned it. First play of the game, we're going to go with a double move. Well, why don't you go with a play action like a crosser or Benji up the seam? Like something where this is his comfort zone, and it's like they try to go away from it, and then we screw around, and next thing you know, we're all sitting here, man, we're going to do something stupid. We're going to lose this game. They're making Brian smoke cigarettes. They make me slip on the bottle at the baseball game. Tally, I don't know what you're doing, but we all doing something, try to calm ourselves down. And, sorry.
Pacing through the house with my shirt off.
Hey.
That's what I'm doing.
And for that first down play, like let's call something like a half roll and, get like a half field read, do like a go route with a deep crosser. Something where you get, one read, 2 read, check down. and make that something where if Kyron, if it ain't there, if he's got pressure, he can easily get rid of the football and play another down instead of having a guy in his face, ball on the ground, and thankfully gets back on it.
Yeah, again, I'm not gonna get on Tebow too much because some of it is execution from what I see. I hate to put stuff on players, but players play. Can't miss blocks, you can't miss people running wide open across the middle of the field, different things like that. But I will say, just looking at the team, I feel like Chris Marv knows what the identity is, and he tries to stick to that. He knows what his defensive identity is, and for good or for bad, he's leaning into it. And you can see him building on it each week. Now, with our offense, I see us, it's kind of like we got a lot of shiny toys, and whichever one is got new batteries, that's the one we use that week. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I kind of feel like that's how it is. And on one hand, you do need to see some different plays. Like I've seen some different plays that I haven't seen, in 2 years. This game.
Hey, we got a Philly special.
Yeah, a Philly special, a flea flicker. I've seen a couple things like that, but also to do all that stuff, you still have to have an identity. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like we're struggling to lean into that identity. So we got to do it. We got to know what makes us good. We got to lean into that. And then some of the other stuff can come off of that. So, again, not comparing offense to defense or Marv to Tebow, but Tebow's got his hands full because when we're good, we're good. When we're bad on offense. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I know he's trying. There's not a middle, but so I know he's trying to make some things work. And he did it again. I got to give him his props. Like he's seen we couldn't move the ball and we were having some problems, and he pulled some stuff out that progressed us down the field, which is what we needed to win. But at the same time, I still think, like Curtis said when we started this, you get some of those hot routes, like on the first drive, not the first drive, but maybe second drive. When we hit Benji, he's wide open. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing but a hot route. So you did some motion to kind of mess them up and send somebody out to the flats, and they don't know who to cover, and they think, well, actually, what they did was that was pretty genius play call. So they moved the tackle to the other side. They moved the one tackle to the other side, so you got two tackles on one side.
Parker's on the left end.
Yeah, so then you got Benji lined up on the line, and it looks like he's a tackle, but he is an eligible receiver, and he just hits a hot right up the seam. So great play design, but you don't have to stop at one play. Like you can build off that that set. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that.
Let me put my thumb right on the problem, and I'm gonna do it by asking a question. When it comes to the passing game, what is the bread and butter of this offense?
Bashal Tootin.
No, I'm saying from a passing standpoint.
The passing don't work unless you got him.
So
right now,
that's my point. There's not really, you don't have a bread and butter play in this playbook that says when we need yards, when we need a first down, when we need 7, when we need 8, we don't have a play that's like, all right, this is where Kyron feels the most comfortable. I don't feel like we've seen it. I feel like we scheme ourselves into these situations and scheme our way out of them sometime, but we don't have Kelly, you were talking about identity. We don't really have an identity from a passing standpoint that says we do this really good, really consistently.
Now, let me ask you this, Brian, and Curtis too. But Brian, since you said that, because this is something I talk about a lot of times. No disrespect to our wide receivers, but I'm watching certain plays and I'm watching, kind of going back and watching tape and things like that. Do you think that is because we don't separate enough on our wide receivers aren't separating enough? Because sometimes we have the opportunity to make plays, but maybe somebody in the open, maybe somebody doesn't see it. What do y'all think is going on kind of with the receiver room?
I think they do get separation. I don't think it's consistently. I don't think it's like, to me, I would want it to be 75.
Well, we're going to be clear. One person gets separation all the time, but go ahead.
Yeah. I know who that is. So we'll let you mention it in a little while here. Best text I read while at the game was that play. But I think it's not consistently. It's not consistently where, you got somebody 75, somebody 60. You got Felton, who's a big guy. He's physical, where you almost want to say is you've got to trust his big body to go get the ball. You've got to trust they're going to win these battles. So I don't think it's like to a point where it's like, oh my God, they can never get separation, but it's not. I think it's to what you said earlier. It's not at the comfort level it needs to be for Kyron to feel comfortable just letting the ball go. Like he knows he's going to get off that press or he's going to get the separation on that cut, and I'm going to put it right there on him.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I think we got some guys that get separation, but to Curtis's point, I think the consistency is probably the bigger issue. And I think maybe when we think about separation and we think about how our offensive line is, I think we're not seeing separation maybe early in the snap as much as we want to see it.
Yeah.
I think our guys get open, but sometimes I think they get open at a time where Kyron's already either made a decision to step up, climb the ladder. Yeah. I think sometimes if he sees the tight coverage before the break, he's not always anticipating the separation out of the break. And so he kind of makes that decision there. So there's a lot of different factors I think that's playing into that. Some of that's on Kyron, some of that's on, the receiver route running. So I think there's blame across the board here. Even going to the play calling itself, I think there's a little blame to be passed around. But like I said, I think I'd like to see us figure out what we really do well in the passing game and maybe lean on that a little bit more, especially when we have games like Georgia Tech where we really couldn't find consistency in the run game because of the way they were playing in the box.
Right.
I'm going to say this, and it's going back to simple. It's schematics, Tally, like you mentioned a little while ago. Moving the pocket, rolling Kyron out, that's a scheme thing. Because what that does, y'all know both from playing, the second that pocket is rolled, like on a 2nd and 8, you roll the pocket. Oh, it's a pass play. Wait a second, though. If we F up and he gets a step, Kyron can get 10 yards. If we really F up, he can get 35.
Right.
We're not putting the defense to have to make a decision, because what normally happens when a pocket rolls? Safety or linebackers do something. They move out of the place. What usually happens? You're running somebody right into where potentially that gap could be, right? Oh, I'm going to run a little crosser. Well, that safety just came up because he saw Kyron. Well, now Kyron's got an easy third down field. Oh, he didn't come up. Well, now it's going to be the linebacker trying to beat Kyron to the boundary. And regardless, Kyron's going to get the positive yards. The other thing that we have not seen, I feel like, since the first month of the season, where'd the orbit motions with Jane Lane go? Why aren't we orbit motioning guys in the backfield? Because y'all know that's a separation creator, and that's moving guys. That's the safeties looking, wait a second, where'd he just go? Well, he just came off the left side. Oh, I'm in cover 2. I got to see where he is, because if he comes back up the seam, he's probably coming into my zone. It's like we're not doing schematic things that could open guys up, that could make getting separation easier. And to me, that goes back to Tyler Bowen. Like, dude, these things are easy. And if they're not working, if they've got it figured out, then you put it back into you put it back into playbook and say, I'm not going to do that today. But that's what irritates me, because when I see a pocket roll for a semi-mobile quarterback, and they break, 6 yards. Well, now it's 3rd and 2. That defense is all in a bind, right? What are they going to do? They're going to run Bashal. They're going to run Kyron. They're going to run some little pass. They're going to take a deep shot. They're going to run a little screen. Everything's open. And we're not doing that. We're effectively not putting ourselves in good situations like that. And it's irritating.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when we look at the motion, I think that, we've talked about it. Bowen has done a really good job with motion to scheme for certain plays, but I would like to see him being a little more consistent with how we use motion to isolate guys in favorable matchups. To just move the sticks. I feel like we do a good job on those kind of those big plays, those plays where we're going to get chunk plays, but we don't use motion really well just to get a guy 5 or 6 yards. And I think that's where there could be some improvement.
That's it right there. That's it right there. It's the little small gains that instead of making it 3rd and 8, it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. And then everything's open. And y'all both know it's like, because we as fans didn't get to say, what are they going to do? Man, they just going to run a little zone read option. They just going to run off tackle, inside zone, power run. Everything's open. And the defense got to guess. And if defense screws up and guesses on our team, I know we're not always pumping them up, but if you screw up and mess around with our team and somebody gets it and there's nobody there, it's not a 10-yard gain. It's 30, it's 40, or it's a house call. And then you sit over here and now we're down. All right, let me get off that because I can go on forever. This was bad. Now it seems better. Tally throughout the game, Texan, X back on the sideline, X hurt. Then I saw the Tootin play, and it was just like, oh, God, here we go again. But if y'all didn't get to hear it in Prize Presser, I know we were trying to listen to it while we were working. Both are probable. And did y'all see the Jay Lane interview?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the clip from it.
Did you see? Go ahead, Tally. And for those who haven't seen it, what Jay Lane said about Bashal Tootin.
He just pretty much said he was a drama queen whenever he gets hurt and that he would be fine. He'd be ready to go. So, it's just a team thing, man. They talk to each other all the time. They see each other all the time. So, they want their brother to be out there ready to play. But, there is something that you still got to worry about because if he is a little gimp, you know what I'm saying, he's going to get nicked up in the game. You got to find some ways to protect him. And also, when you have an ankle sprain or something like that, it could cause you not to have the same burst that you would have without having that ankle sprain. So something to keep an eye on. But even more than that, which is really important, X has got nicked up a lot. It's not just been one thing that you can pick or two things like, shoulder, knee one game, ankle one game. So that's a big man. You know what I'm saying? Every time he goes down, you like, oh Lord, because he's a big piece of the puzzle that we need to move forward and be good.
Yeah, and I mean we talked about the PFF grades there, and he didn't have good pass pro games in this particular matchup, and some of that can be attributed to pretty much having a bum shoulder for the majority of the snaps he saw in that game. But to me, coming out and saying two players are probable to play means they're playing because Pry is very he's very forthcoming with a lot of things, but he is rarely forthcoming with the status of a player that is injured. Yeah. So if he's being forthcoming with that, then they're playing.
This is true.
100%.
This is very true.
All right, let's wrap this up real quick. Kind of put the last two questions back to back. Brian, anything that you weren't prepared for Saturday while looking at tape during the game? I know you were doing some things.
I thought we would win more in the receiving game. I thought it was going to be a similar situation to like we saw against Stanford where, they might load the box. They already have a pretty good rush defense, but we'll be able to take advantage of some of what they do in the secondary. And for a variety of reasons, that just never came to fruition outside of a handful of plays.
All right. Tally, anything you weren't prepared for? Because you watched it in living color with your shirt off walking around the house.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what Brian said, though, when you talk about the passing game, but I'll go a little bit step farther. Like, I wasn't prepared for us to not be productive in the passing game like I thought we would be and still win the game by two touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that was pretty impressive, I guess you can say, because I talked to Chris a lot, shout out to Chris Lester, my guy. And we talked about like this was going to be the game where they were going to load the box. We were going to have to throw the ball. They're going to make Kyron beat us with his arm. And we beat him by 2 touchdowns. Still wasn't as effective as I thought we would be or needed to be, but still won 21-6. So I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, gritty win for a team that under Pry hasn't had a ton of wins like that, right?
Mm-mm.
So
right.
Still double digits, but it didn't feel double digits.
It was a very tightly contested game, despite, like I said, having the arm's length lead for the majority of that game. So yeah, I agree with you, Tally.
All right. Y'all heard mine a little earlier. It's just the defensive snap counts because a lot of young guys getting involved, the rotations getting heavier. Burgo's playing a lot, Nelson playing a lot, Ace and Steven getting 10 snaps. APR, the defensive tackles, keeping that rotation. That's what I love to see because as the season gets on, especially with defense, everybody gets nicked. And now it's that point where if you see Ace and Stevens in, like he got 10 snaps, but if you see him pop in, it's like, it's all right. He can get things done.
He's been in there for 10 snaps, and you call his name at least 2 times in those 10 snaps. So, I mean, he's making his presence felt within those 10 plays.
Yep. All right. What can we do better moving forward, Jonathan Talley?
Passing game. We gotta make that passing game better, whether that's getting, separation or that's, hitting those crossing routes, or if that's calling some, like everything in the passing game. We gotta do it better. I mean, you got to have an identity, but you can't be a one-dimensional team and win these last 4 games. We're going to need all hands on deck, so we got to get that passing game moving, in the right direction.
Ron?
We've got to start connecting on some of those deep one-on-one opportunities because you can get yourself out of some stacked boxes if you start making defenses pay for that. And I think we did a better job of that last year than we've done at any point this year. I think scheme-wise, we've hit some big plays this year. I don't think we went out there and won a ton of one-on-one matchups with the deep ball down the field.
All right, there we go there. And mine is just keep finishing drive in the red zone, keep finishing like we did at the end, keep finishing teams off on 3rd and 4th down. Because if you keep doing that, effectively, you break teams' wills when you do that. When you keep scoring touchdowns or they get inside the red zone, they can't score or they kick field goals. You just kind of see it on people's faces and their hearts. It's like, man, they're going to get in or we ain't getting in. And that's one of those things. It builds confidence when you see the confidence that the other team has. All righty. As y'all know, we are brought to you by the Counts Family Pharmacy, your friendly neighborhood pharmacy, 301 South Main Street in.
You're the owner of a small business, which means you could use another pair of hands, like the experts at Verizon Small Business Days, August 11th through 17th. Get a free tech check and special deals like a free 5G phone. You know you want one. Call 1-800-483-4428 or visit verizon.com/smallbusiness to book your appointment. Verizon Business. Available for select 5G phones. New line device payment agreement and select data plan required. Credit applied to account over agreement term up to 36 months. Terms apply. Offer ends 8/17/2025.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Blacksburg, let's get to know the enemy, and let's talk about the Syracuse Orange Men. Current record of 5-2, and we do want to start with their offensive side of the ball. And Brian, this offense is led by Jeff Nixon and co-OC Michael Johnson. Give us a little info on these two guys.
Yeah, it's very much it's a spread offense. I mean, it's a throw first offense. It's kind of air raid-esque, but they definitely throw the ball downfield a little bit more than you would be used to in an air raid concept there. They care a lot more about just getting the ball in those playmakers' hands than they do about any sort of offensive balance. I mean, it's basically a 65-35 pass to run there, and at times it doesn't even feel like that. They are very much a pass-first offense, and it starts and ends with Kyle McCord.
All right. Callie, let's get some background on McCord because I think most people know him.
Oh, Kyle McCord transferred in from Ohio State. He is a New Jersey kid, I believe. Has some good offers coming out of high school, high 4-star. I think 92 was about where he was at. Came in highly, in the transfer portal, highly ranked. Came to Syracuse. And for the most part, he's been effective this year. It's kind of been a tale of 2 years, 2 halves for him. I heard early in the season how great he was, but then I also heard later in the season, well, see, there he is. That's why, he had to leave Ohio State because he couldn't make stuff work with those wide receivers he had there. He ain't never going to be able to make it work. So anyway, stat-wise, we know he has 19 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
How many came last Thursday? Say
5 or 6. Was it 5 or 6?
5.
5 and 1
3
game.
of them were pick sixes.
That was the pick. Now, I will say this, and I'll let Brian get into it a little bit. I've learned to try to, go week by week with these, talking about teams and looking at teams. Yeah. And also I try to just wait till we're getting ready to play them, because I heard that this team was Syracuse at the beginning of the season, same as Georgia Tech. Oh, they're going to kill us. Oh, they're just so talented. They this. Well, I'm looking at their record. I've never paid attention to it. Syracuse played Ohio, beat them 38-22. Georgia Tech beat them 31-28. Stanford lost to them 26-24. Holy Cross 42-14. UNLV, they won 44-41 in overtime. North Carolina State, they beat them 24-17. And then Pitt, they got skull drug 41-13. So again, you kind of see, like, of course, every team's different, every week's different, but I think Pitt's defense was something more than Syracuse has seen this season. Even Georgia Tech being a solid team early in the season, their defense ain't on the level that Pitt's is. I don't think their defense on the level ours is. So I'll go right there. Brian, what you think about Mr. McCord?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it. And I mean, when we look at what he does, he's really a pocket-oriented gunslinger. He's got some athletic ability, but he's not a guy that's going to take off and run consistently. That's not his bread and butter. He's a guy that's going to sling it from the pocket there, and I emphasize gunslinger in the Brett Favre sense of the word, that it's either going to be something big or it's going to be an interception. Anything can happen, literally. He throws on the run pretty well, but again, still less of a threat to kind of take off in that aspect. And from a arm talent standpoint, I mean, he can make all the throws, but he is risky with the football. In the Pitt game, you look at that, 3 of those interceptions, all 3 of the ones that were pick sixes were bad throws, not throws that you should be making in those situations. You got to be smarter with the football there. He had a couple that were just, tip balls, probably shouldn't have taken the risk, but it was a calculated one and things just went the other way. But we're going to get some opportunities to have the ball go in our direction with Kyle McCord throwing the ball, but he is going to make our guys cover, 5 receivers 65-70% of the time. So we're going to have to be ready. We're going to have to make tackles because they're going to want to get that ball in the open space.
That last 3 games, do you know how many times he's threw the ball?
How many?
Against Pitt, he threw the ball 64 times. Against North Carolina State, he threw the ball 42 times. And against UNLV, that went into overtime, he threw the ball 63 times. I can't believe his arm ain't fell off. That's just the last 3. I ain't even going into the other games.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Well, hold on. Let me do something real quick here, because I got something up to look. So that's like 160 times.
He threw it 42 when they lost to Stanford.
It was 42 when they lost to Stanford. And hold on, I got it up here. I'm going to talk about in a second a couple of the guys Brian picked out to say we got to talk about these 2 guys who he throws to, because sort of the whole thing. He's went 364 in 7 games, 346 in 7 games. He's throwing the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah.
Guaranteed he going to throw it 50 times.
Yeah.
And that's if they win or they lose. So
right.
Let's talk about a couple guys he's throwing to. I want to talk about, Brian, the first one here because he's listed as a tight end, but sometimes they lie because he was listed on 247 as a wide receiver. Ron Gadsden II, out of American Heritage down in Fort Lauderdale, was a 84 when he came out, so a low 3-star. Even though his dad was a NFL wide receiver on the Dolphins for 5 seasons back in the late 90s, 2000. So obviously he's got a bloodline there. So far this season, 35 catches for 466 yards. His big bang game was against UNLV. He went 10 for 142 and for 10 for 142. Big piece about him right now, he's got only 3 touchdowns this year in those 7 games. So, Brian, he's 6'5", he's about 215. Tell me what to do with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the classic Joker tight end. He's not going to, be a guy that's, running a quick hitch or a huge red zone threat, but he is a guy that will run the seam and the wheel with regularity. He's a guy that they'll use on those quick hitters. So I don't know if we'll see that that damn RPO to the tight end like we've seen every other team run against us in the last month, but he has the capability of turning that into a pretty good play there. So he's a guy that we're going to have to keep our eyes on. Like I said, I'm more worried about him up the seam and on those wheel routes than I am necessarily doing anything near the red zone.
All right, got that noted. All right, next guy I want to talk about is a guy by the name of Jackson Meeks. And Charlie, I'm going to pivot to you in just a second before Brian jumps on him. Jackson Meeks, originally a recruit to Georgia back in the year 2021. Central High School, Phoenix City, Alabama. And so far this season, 43 catches, 512 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's got the last 6 games, 3 have been over 8+ receptions, 2 over 10 of those 2, 10 for 161 against Holy Cross. That makes sense. That he absolutely torched NC State, 11 for 116 and a touchdown. Tally, let's get a little bit of background on him. Phoenix City and Central, what type of program is that down there?
A beast.
Okay.
Everybody who's good from Alabama comes from there. I'm pretty sure they're a 7A school, so biggest in the state of Alabama. They continue to pump out talent every year. I can't remember the name, but Auburn's freshman wide receiver that they got last year, he looks like Megatron. He came from Central Phoenix City, played basketball as well. I'll find his name here in a minute. But, Phoenix City is always a great school, always very, very talented in every sport, but definitely their bread and butter is football. Like that's what they do there. So anybody coming from that program is usually pretty talented.
All right. Brian, what'd you see on film?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely their best all-around wide receiver. He can do a little bit of everything. He can move the sticks. He can catch them down the field. Really good at high pointing the ball and uses his size to kind of get that position on those deep balls down the field or in those stick-moving situations. So really a guy we got to kind of look at in all aspects of his game because he can definitely beat you a bunch of different ways.
All righty. Tally, who are we looking at next?
We'll go to LaQuint Allen, the running back. He was a 3-star coming out of high school, New Jersey kid. Didn't have a ton of offers. They'd have UVA in there, Temple, Rutgers, Syracuse. So ended up going to Syracuse. He's a 2022 kid. He's a junior. He's got about 109 carries this year for 481. So 4 touchdowns. So that's what the stats that we have on him. Brian, what kind of film do you have on him?
Yeah, I mean, we'll make a note here. He's 3rd on the team in receptions right now. I'd say he's a threat as a runner and a receiver. I'd consider him just probably a little bit more of a receiving threat than as a runner. He's a I'd say an average ACC running back, but he's a very good receiving threat. Really good in the screen game and in space, and he catches just like a wide receiver. So he's got really good hands.
All righty, Brian. One last piece to flip on. Let's talk about the offensive line. What did you see on tape? Did any numbers specifically stand out to you?
I mean, they surrender a lot of sacks.
Good.
Nice.
We can sack this. We can sack this quarterback. Especially, they struggled a lot with elite edges, one-on-one, and they've struggled a lot when you bring some pressure packages. So we should be able to get to the backfield. The question is going to be, do we get home? Are they going to try to get rid of the ball quickly, or are we going to let them get open quickly in the snap? That's really going to be, whether or not we struggle with this offense is whether or not we can get pressure on McCord with regularity.
And y'all wondering how bad they are? They are 97th in sacks allowed, about 2.5 per game. And obviously, we played Stanford. We know Stanford's pass rush is not what it is. Pitt usually has one. I'd have to go look up at those numbers. But just kind of look here, Brian. You said the tackles struggle, and it does show that. Their two highest tackles, Savion Washington, Demetrius Witherspoon, they both got over 500 snaps. You do the mathematics in 7 games. That makes sense that they're pretty much the starters. Washington, 62 graded in pass block, and Witherspoon, 67. So not that elite where you want to be when you look at the competition they played. That's more of the issue there. It's who you played. Y'all should be easily in the 70s. You're in the 60s, and you have not played an elite pass rusher. And know
as soon as they ramped it up last week, we saw what the fuck happened.
You went on mute, Curtis.
Can you hear me now?
On mute.
Yes, sir.
You.
Ah, man, it done messed up. Un momento. I'm back.
He broke it.
Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, I heard you.
Good. You're
I
good.
heard you.
I don't know. It's all jacked up with me. All right, so this thing just has a mind of its own sometimes. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. Led by Elijah Robinson and Robert Wright. I know I read earlier this week Robinson is the play caller, Brian. What kind of scheme are they looking at here?
Yeah, it's a familiar one here, buddy. It's a 4-2-5, very pressure-oriented scheme. They mix up their pressures a lot. They're very much not a predictable team. They're not just going to blitz on obvious downs. They're going to confuse you. They're going to bring pressure from different levels. They're going to bring pressure on different down and distances. So they're going to keep you on your toes a little bit with how they attack an offensive line.
All right, Tally. Who you got up first? Because I know you're addressing what always worries you with teams.
Mr. Fadil Diggs, big-time recruit coming out of high school. Pretty much a 5-star, 4-star, high 4-star, 5-star player, transferred in from Texas A&M to Syracuse this year. Again, big-time player, had all the offers, all the SEC schools, and he's a solid player. Been, gonna be a nightmare for somebody coming off the edge, which Brian probably will be a nightmare for somebody coming off the edge. No disrespect to Brian, but I'm just saying we got to do some things that's gonna neutralize him because he can cause us some problems. Brian, what you got on Mr. Diggs?
Yeah, I mean, his initial step, he's really good off the snap. Probably not elite from a complete rep standpoint, but really good get off. Really strong hands. Can use those to kind of get tackles off balance. Shed the blocker there. And when he gets home, he's a pretty good tackler. He definitely has a tendency when he gets there, he's going to get you on the ground. So. He's going to be a handful, and hopefully a certain somebody doesn't see a whole lot of him.
He's got 4 sacks as well.
8.5 tackles for loss too. And he's got like 30 tackles in general. So that shows a little bit of a motor from the end position. So he is definitely somebody we have to keep an eye on if we've got to neutralize. You tell me he's got 1 sack or less, I will feel good about Saturday.
I agree.
Honestly, I'd feel great about Saturday. All right, I'm going to go to the back end, Brian, because they've got a pretty damn good cornerback there by the name of Clarence Lewis. Clarence is from New Jersey. He went to Maitre D High School in Middletown, the class of 2020. Initially went to Notre Dame. Now coming out, not looked as a high-star recruit, just an 87, so kind of in that middle range there. But, you take a look at what he's done so far in just a few seasons, in this season at Syracuse so far. 16 tackles. He's already got a pick. He's got 5 pass deflections in 7 games. That tells me he's keeping an eye on things. He goes and gets it. His career at Notre Dame, where effectively he played 4 full seasons. So this is his COVID season. While he was there, 3 picks along with 18 pass deflections in 4 seasons. Obviously, he would have saw some of these Hokies way back. It would have been, 2021 when he was a true sophomore there. If y'all can remember, we played them because he did play in all 13 games.
Don't remind me of that game.
I'm just saying, he's seen some people on this team before. Not many of them, but some of them. But what's he got, Brian?
Yeah, he's a very, very strong zone coverage cornerback. Really good at reading routes, anticipating throws. When it comes to man coverage, I'd give him an average grade. He's really good kind of early in the snap. When we look at things like double moves or tracking the ball deep downfield, that's where he struggles at times. You can get some penalties on him. You can get beat. He doesn't really do a good job of tracking the ball and going and get it in the air that way. But when it comes to breaking on a ball in those short to intermediate zones, that's where he's really strong.
All righty. Tally, we got one more gentleman to look at. Who is our last contestant with Know the Enemy?
Yeah, so Mr. Justin Barron, he's a senior. Many thought he was going to go in the draft last year, but he ended up coming back, I think, for his 5th year to try to put on and do something special. At Syracuse, he's 6'4", 225, back there in a defensive back. This year looks like he is got about 42 tackles. 25 of them are solo tackles, 1 INT. He was about a 3-star player coming out of high school, had a couple of offers from some ACC schools, Boston College being one of them. And, of course, Syracuse is where he went. So, yeah, it looks solid back there. Looks like a physical specimen. Brian, what you got on when you see tape?
Yeah, and he's kind of been a guy that's moved in different spots on this defense. As we've gotten into the season, he's kind of settled in at outside linebacker despite having that defensive back pedigree. So he's kind of that converted safety. Played outside linebacker, rover, and free at various points in his career with Syracuse. Good tackler, above average quickness, which you would expect from a safety. But much like that, he can get swallowed when he's inside of the box there. Little undersized overall, and doesn't have a ton of experience playing in the box between the tackles.
All righty, so there are 3 guys we are looking at this week. I'm going to throw another name to because we're probably going to hear his name a lot Saturday just because of where he plays. Mike linebacker Derek McDonald, 48 total tackles, tied with Barron for the lead. He is in the middle of that defense. So if you hear that name a lot, don't be shocked. But y'all, let's go over. We know what they do. We know they do have some weapons. We do see some things we do and don't like. But let's talk about what our keys to this victory are. Tally, I'm going to let you get up to the plate first and smash one here.
Yeah, so let me see. Keys to victory for me is going to be secondary. You got to earn your reputation. You know, we got a all ACC, all American cornerback back there in Dorian Strong. Well, guess what, buddy? You're going to get your opportunity to wear that satchel with some pride this week, because they're probably going to drop back and throw the ball 50 times. I think defensive line's going to try to get to the quarterback. He's going to get the opportunity to pick something off. You know, we got to know what we're doing. Hey, let's take one to the house, man. If we want to be DBU, let's just be DBU. So that's what I'm saying. Secondary, you're going to have to earn your stripes this week.
All righty. Brian, what about you?
No slow starts on offense. Get Kyron comfortable early. Establish the line of scrimmage with the run game. Get out there, score a touchdown, get some points on the board, put the pressure on that Syracuse offense to have to keep pace with us from an offensive standpoint.
All right. We don't have Shelton here this week. Shelton actually went on the inactive list very early today. Wasn't going to be able to make it. Shelton, we miss you as always this week. And I know you hate this stat, but I think it's one we've got to live by. The mantra is it's going to be money downs on both sides of the football. So at converting third downs, Syracuse is 6th in the country. They convert almost half of their third downs. Third down defense, they ain't too shabby as well. They are the 12th ranked third down defense in the country, with teams converting less than 30% on them. So there's two ways about this, right? Offense, don't ever get to third down. Get it on first and second. Don't ever get to third down. Don't let us strength. Defense, up front, APR, Peebles, all y'all, go eat. Make the third downs damn near impossible for them to get to. And when it's 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 11, attack. Finish at the quarterback. But that is two of their strengths. So going to wrap that up. That's our 3 keys to victory. And Brian, how do you see this one playing out? And what's your prediction for the game?
Yeah, I think the Hokies take this one. I think it may end up being a little bit more of a grind than we want it to be, but I think we get the job done at the end of the day. Give me 27-21 Hokies.
All righty. I'm going to go next because, Tally, you were officially in the cleanup position for the rest of the year. I'm also going to go Hokies on this one, especially once the news with Chaplin and Tootin came out that they're likely going to play, probably going to be playing through some pain. We are 4-point road favorites. That was the last time I checked. I don't know if that's went up or down. I was a little bit shocked.
It started at 3.5, bumped up to 4. I don't think it's changed since then.
I don't think it's changed since then. But I'm going to go 28-23. And I think it's going to be – Syracuse is going to have their own undoing. They're going to be at like the 15. It's going to be like 4th and 5 with like 8 minutes to go. And they're going to kick a field goal. And then we're going to bleed out the clock. They're going to get the ball back with about 9 seconds left. And Dorian Strong's going to get a pick to seal the game.
Dang. If all that happened –
Curtis got a script.
Yeah, I'm going to say if all that happened, shoot, we're going to let Curtis go pick some numbers.
If all that happens, yeah, we'll be going to the grocery store and buying a lottery ticket Saturday night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Valley?
Well, hey, I got to stay true, man. Bulletin board material. I'm going with Cuse, man. I'm going to say Cuse 35-21. You know, I haven't seen us really win a close game yet. A lot of people think it's going to be close. And again, 2 of our losses have been on the road. So they've been proving me wrong. The last 3 games, I mean, they proved me wrong. I want them to continue proving me wrong. Plaster me up on in the locker room in them ugly ass lockers y'all got and say, we're going to prove this guy wrong again. Oh, never mind. We're going to their house. So their lockers might not be ugly, but our lockers is ugly.
Oh, that place is ugly.
Have you seen the Dome? You know them lockers. You got to climb stairs to get them some bitches.
That place. By the way, and so we hadn't beat Georgia Tech at home in 12 years. How long has it been since we won in the Dome?
It's been too long, but we hadn't played a ton of them.
Haven't played a ton of them. But do you know?
Probably 20. Go ahead. I was going to say 24 years.
24 years. I was going to say take last week's 12, multiply it by 2, 24 years. MB7 was the quarterback.
Yeah.
It was 2000. I was in high school. He was in high school. That's how damn long it's been. It's time.
Curtis is that's another way for Curtis to call us old.
Yeah.
Old. The whole thing about our podcast is we don't deny being old. We don't go out here trying to act young.
I think I was in middle school.
Were you in middle school in 2000?
Yeah. Well, because the football season would have been, never mind. It'd be 20. I was in high school because I graduated in 04.
Okay.
I was thinking it would have been 99, and then, but no, it's the 2000 season.
The 2000 season. So there you go, freshman in high school. I was my senior year in high school. All right, let's move on. As always, we have fun. Brian, you didn't send me the update, man. You didn't send me the update. Send me the update.
Hang on.
I think I had a decent week. I think I did.
All right, it's coming your way.
All right, I'm looking for it now. We are trying to get Shelton's prediction as well, y'all. Shelton, again, started his new job last week. He's trying to find an apartment. He's commuting back and forth. He's doing all sorts of stuff. But there is the big screeners. Let's get that tabulation up there, Brian. Pop it up. Week 10 big screeners. Last week, believe it or not, Brian, Tally, Miranda, and Jason all went 500, along with Shelton. Everybody went 3-3, except me, 4-2, back in the winning category. I am above 500. I'm joining Brian there. Everybody's
Curtis is the man. Curtis is the man.
I ain't the man. I just hit it right last week. Yeah, you got those feelings. You go out, you bet them, you feel good about it. And
Curtis is either, looking at it, Curtis is either hitting 3 or more right or like 1.
Or if you ride with me, be willing to burn. Because if it starts bad, you're usually gonna be up in flames before we figure out anything. All right, but we got big screeners.
Before we go to big screeners, just want to ask.
Yeah.
Besides our game, because we got our game over with early, I was so happy. I'm okay. I'm okay with it because here's 11 o'clock. Watch our game. We win. I'm having a great day. What other games did y'all watch? Because I'm gonna tell you, I watched the Vanderbilt Texas game, and I knew it was going to be a close game. And Vandy almost had a chance to pull that game off.
They did. Let me think. I watched the fourth quarter of that game. I watched the early quarters of the Alabama game.
Blowout.
I was all over the place.
I was watching mostly highlights other than our game because I was on the road.
Oh yeah.
For most of that night, I didn't get back till like almost 10:30.
Gotcha.
And I left at the start of the fourth quarter for our game. So that's why Tally was clutch coming through because ESPN had fucked up the game cast, so you couldn't follow the game on the app. I didn't have good enough service to stream it on my phone. So Tally came through in the clutch and was giving us the play-by-play in real time in the group chat. So
he the man. We do it together. All right, so there's 3 I watched, Tally. And then at night, I watched some of the Miami-Florida State game, the LSU-Texas A&M game. And then I closed it out watching SMU Duke. And I ain't never seen anything like y'all. Did you watch the end of that game?
Duke didn't want to win.
They didn't.
They did not want to win the game.
Field goals. And
I think SMU turned it over 6 times.
6 freaking times.
Every time they got the ball, they turned it over, and Duke just couldn't win it.
I feel like we're about to talk about that a little bit here.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that because the first game up. Oh, by the way, there's another one. Hold on. Did y'all watch the game last Wednesday night? Tell me y'all watched the end of it.
Who was it?
Kennesaw State Liberty.
No, I didn't watch it. I heard about it. I didn't watch it.
Kennesaw State is an FCS transitioning program to FBS. They had not beaten an FBS team ever, and they beat Liberty's ass. It was such a glorious thing.
Yeah, I think I threw the tweet out there. I was like, Liberty fans talked all that shit to lose to Kennesaw State on a Wednesday night.
And 0-16. 0-16. All right. But let's get to them, big screeners. Brian, right out the gate, huge ACC matchup. Huge matchup for the Hokies if they are to make it to Charlotte. Pitt and SMU, both undefeated in ACC play. SMU effectively avoided that bullet Saturday night because you couldn't find a guy to kick a 22-yard field goal for the win, and then they didn't trust him enough in overtime. They had to go for 2. SMU laying 7.5. Brian, why'd you pick it, and who you got?
Yeah, I picked it because this fucking matters from a Virginia Tech standpoint if we want to see Charlotte. Looking long-term, big picture here, we need to – at this point, probably win every remaining game on our schedule if we want to go and play where we want to play. Mainly because if you look at the remaining schedule for SMU, they've got Pitt and then they got some mostly light work the rest of the way. SMU's schedule as far as a first time P4 ACC team is as cake as they could have lined it up. Just looking at that big picture, Pitt really going to be really the biggest test they're going to have in the entire slate of the ACC. I know it's at SMU, but them getting 7.5 is fucking wild to me. Uh-huh. So, because honestly, SMU's wins haven't been that impressive. So, give me Pitt. Yeah. And I'm picking Pitt here, so y'all mark this on your calendars. This is a red letter day that Brian Siegler has chosen Pitt in any context because I will usually avoid that team like the plague.
100%, but you had it in this one because of the enormity of the matchup. This is where the first of the dominoes have to fall for the Hokies to make it in the Hokies or themselves. Obviously, we got to win Saturday afternoon at Syracuse, but we take care of that. We need because. By the way, this is who Pitt has left. BC, not even at BC, so they ain't got to travel a long ways. They get to stay at home. They don't have to play up in the cold. They go to UVA, and then they got Cal at home.
You talking about SMU?
Yes, SMU. Yeah. That's their last 3 opponents.
I thought you said Pitt, so that's why I was clarifying there.
So I was saying, this is their hardest one. The thing I will say, if you take a look, best defense SMU's seen all year is BYU. They held them to 15 points. Give me Pitt. Give me the 7.5. Pitt wins a game outright.
Shelton is riding with you and me here. Curtis, tell us, Tally, what you got?
I'm riding with Pitt too. Our dudes are going. If you give him the ball 6 times, he gonna do something with it. I don't like him. But if you turn that ball over 6 times, he probably not losing. Go ask Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
true.
Miranda is riding with SMU here, and the music man himself is riding with us and Pitt, gentlemen.
5-1. 5-1.
Yep.
All righty.
Curtis, where are we heading?
We are heading to Death Valley, South Carolina. Louisville versus Clemson. Clemson laying 10.5 points here. And I chose this one obviously because I know we've got to see – we've been probably all watching Clemson a little bit as they've been getting closer and closer to the game. This is 1 week before, so obviously going to keep an eye out, or will be keeping an eye on this game. Louisville can score, and we've seen that numerous times. Louisville don't play much defense, and I think when they go down there, they're going to get locked down defensively. I think Clemson is going to be tuning up to get ready to come to Lane Stadium. I think Clemson wins this one big. They easily cover the 10.5. I think this is a blowout by 20+.
I'm not seeing a blowout here, but I am seeing a solid Clemson victory, 14 to 17 points. So I'm riding with you and the Tigers.
Sheldon's riding with us too. Tally, you on board?
Oh, yeah, I got to go Clemson. You know, Clemson's had a pretty easy schedule, man. Besides Georgia, I mean, they've been pretty caked. So they do got to pay Pitt later on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they play us and they do play Pitt, but other than that, man, they've kind of – we'll see. When I say us, we'll see what us do. But they've had it pretty caked. So we'll see how Clemson handles Louisville.
100%.
Yeah, regardless of how our game shakes out, we should still be top 5, top 6 team in the conference. So we'll still be in the top heavy end of the conference. But hopefully we go ahead and take care of business this week, and we can actually have some to talk about next week with that Clemson game.
100%. Miranda and Jason, everybody's riding Clemson.
Queen sweep, baby.
And if y'all did not know, the clean sweep losing streak snapped last week. It snapped last week on the Vandy game.
Yep.
Everybody picked Vandy. Vandy snapped their streak.
Vandy damn near won that thing outright, so that was crazy.
All righty. Next, we have Shelton's pick. North Carolina, Florida State. And as Shelton sent us the text message of this game, this is effectively the toilet bowl of the ACC this year. We've got FSU getting points at home, getting 2.5 versus UNC. UNC, whose defense has been trash, absolutely shut UVA down last week, which just makes you shake your head. So, Brian Siegler, where are you going with this one?
I think we're going to get another Jeff Collins special. Give me UNC. I don't like anything that Florida State's doing. I don't know.
Nothing.
They broke, man. I don't know what the fuck happened, but they are broke.
But you know what you just need, though? Every time something broke, they just need somebody who has something more broken. And I know they held UVA to 14, but that UNC defense has been just like a wet paper bag. Usually everybody's breaking through it. I think this is FSU's biggest win of the year. They win. They get the points. FSU, high scoring. Be willing to maybe take the over on this one. I don't know what it is. I'll find.
Florida State is gonna score points.
Florida State's so. Okay, hold on. Wait a second. I'm gonna just do something real quick here, bro.
Over under 28 points for Florida State's offense.
Over under 28 points. Over.
Okay.
Over.
All right.
Over. UNC has given up. Ready? 70, 34, 41, 41. That's some of their giving ups.
It don't matter. Florida State ain't finna score that.
All right.
They can't catch.
They can't catch. They don't have a quarterback out of 3 of them to rub together to make one.
Yeah.
All right. Sheldon is riding with me. Tally, we know who you're riding with. You just gave it away. And our last 2 wonderful contributors, North Carolina and Jason. We got a split family.
I was most this is the most unexpected outcome. I was not expecting a split on this one.
Me neither.
I thought this would lean UNC's way, at least 4-2. But
right.
You know what? We move.
All right,
Tally, where we going, man?
The big one.
So next we're going to, like Curtis said, the big one. Ohio State and Penn State. I hate Penn State, man. I hate Ohio State, but I hate Penn State. So there's no rhyme or reason. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just gonna say Ohio State's gonna win.
All right. You know what? Penn State getting 3.5 at home just don't quite sit well with me. I think Ohio State. Don't
do it, Brian. Don't do it.
I think Ohio State pulls out the W, but I'm going with Penn State here in that 3.5.
So welcome to Jonathan Talley's player hater football game of the week.
Hate your whole family.
He hates everything about these schools. And listen, I think most of us that are Hokie fans, we ain't too big of fans of either of these schools either way. But with that info that broke, and I don't know if this changed your mind, Brian, Drew Allar is likely to be a game time decision for Penn State.
He's
which
playing.
means he's going to play. But when a guy's a game time decision, like not even like he's going to practice and progress through it, like we're going to figure out it. And it's a 12 o'clock game, which, by the way, I'm going to say something. As much as I hate them, I like seeing a night game at Penn State. The whiteout is cool. Why is this game at 12 o'clock? Could y'all explain that to me? It's such stupid. It's just stupidity.
We got to stop. You can't put the game of the week at 12.
12.
No.
You cannot. There's only a couple that can happen with. I am always fine with the Red River Shootout being at 12 o'clock. That's fine. I'm fine with some rivalry games being at 12 o'clock. This game should be a night game. Fox, shame on you. Ohio State by 10.
All right.
And I'm laying the points.
All right. Sheldon's riding with you. We already know what Tally's doing. Miranda is riding, and I am so low.
Brian Siegler versus the world.
Hey, bring it on, bitches. Let's go.
All righty. So our wonderful contributing writer Miranda this week is going down to Fayetteville, Arkansas, where the Ole Miss Rebels are playing the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas is a 7-point home favorite. Brian, what you got?
I think this is going to be about a two touchdown victory for Ole Miss. I think they're just going to be too much to handle down there in Fayetteville. I don't think the Razorbacks are going to quite have enough to keep pace with that offense. So I'm going to take Ole Miss here.
All righty. I'm exact opposite of you. I think Arkansas does have enough in the tank probably to keep up offensively. 7 is way too much to lay. And the whole thing is it's Ole Miss just has not been right, in my opinion, since the Kentucky game. They have not been right. I mean, if you take a look at them since Kentucky game a few weeks ago, like they played South Carolina, they only scored 27. They lost to LSU, they scored 26. They beat Oklahoma, they only scored 26. And then I look at what Arkansas has done the last few weeks, 5-3. Arkansas has been laying some points. Like Arkansas has been putting points on the board against less than average defenses. 58 last week against Mississippi State. I think this is going to be entertaining, personally. But give me the Razorbacks in 7. Shelton is with
Riding with Ole Miss, baby.
who you riding with, Tally?
Give me Arkansas.
Any rhyme or reason, or just Screw Lane Kiffin?
Vibes.
No, it's just vibes, man. I mean,
Vibes.
Arkansas got an ugly pig as their mascot, so they should be winning this game, right?
You think so?
Hey, Miranda's riding with Shelton and I, and so is Jason.
All righty. We got one mo here, and obviously that is our music man picking the Florida-Georgia game.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can send me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. Welcome back to another week of Guitar Licks and Gambling Picks. I'm Jason Long. I took a big loss last week, but as the song says, I'm not going to back down. In fact, this week I'm coming back stronger than ever. I did some research, I took notes, I did math, and wrote down stats and stuff, so I am ready, folks. I'm looking at the Florida-Georgia game, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, going on in Jacksonville Saturday afternoon. Now, Florida started out a little rough, but they've won 3 of their last 4 games. Georgia's looked pretty good all season, including 2 weeks ago when they beat Texas and I lost money. However, they're only 2-5 against the spread. Florida's getting 16.5 points in this game. I think they'll at least keep it around 10. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my neck out there and bet on Florida plus 16.5 against Georgia. One other little side note. I noticed the over-under was 52.5 points for this game. I looked it up, and that is hit 4 of the last 6 times these teams have met, and it's hit the last 2 times they've played each other. So I might sprinkle a little something on the over And as far as the song goes, obviously Gainesville native, Tom Petty. Hey, baby, the rain will be the way I know. Hey, I'll stand my ground. Hey, baby, the rain will be the way I know. Hey, I'll stand my ground and I won't back down. Hey, on a serious note, I want to take a moment to say fare thee well to my guy Phil Lesh. Thank you for the music. We'll see you on the other side. For the rest of y'all, I'll hopefully see you next week for another week of Guitar Licks and Gambling Picks. Have a great week.
All righty. So there is the Florida-Georgia game, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. We lost tally, so I'm going to do a little bit more talking. Always, for some reason, this has been, even though I have like no rooting interest, this is always one of those games that has captivated me since I was a kid. Like always. So for Jason, he'll probably be pouring himself a nice rye old fashioned, enjoying this one because he sent us to bed and slip, y'all. He did sprinkle the money on the over under. So, that's there. And now we got to make our picks. So we're going to get Tally back up and running. Brian, who do you got?
I'm going with Georgia here. I haven't seen anything from Florida at this point to inspire a lot of confidence. I think Georgia is kind of settling back in after a little bit of a tough patch there. So I'll take Georgia. I'll lay the 16.5.
Yeah. The 16.5 is such a big number. But is it big enough? And regardless what this screen says, to me, it is too much. I do think Georgia wins, but I think the game is a lot closer than you need to than can be left. I am taking Florida, not Georgia. Brian's editing skills completely screwed that up.
I'll take the L on that one.
Well, I'm looking.
Much like Florida will take on Saturday. No, I'm just kidding. See how
they're going to take the L. It just ain't going to be by 16.5 points. It's going to be by less than 16.5 points. But, yeah, give me Florida on this one.
Shelton riding with me, Curtis. Not us, me.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you too, Brian, because Georgia's coming off of a bye week, and I think that they're going to come back ready to give it that final push to try to get to the SEC championship.
Hey.
No, they ain't. Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Miranda's riding with us there, and obviously we know Jason is not riding solo as expected, but riding with Curtis.
And Florida also coming off a bye week as well.
Mm-hmm.
So should be interesting one. And Tally, I was just telling Brian while you were getting back on, for some reason I have really no rooting interest in this game, but that game is always captivated me for years. I don't know why, but it's just always captivated me for years. But there it is. There's our big screeners. Enjoy the games, bet responsibly. And if you ride with one of us all the way down, well, y'all know you're making a mistake by doing that. So don't. Anything coming out in the last hour and 37 minutes, boys?
I wouldn't say anything's coming out, but I will throw some numbers at you right quick.
Go for it.
19.
Okay.
19 is the number that Pride needs to get to. That means he wins 4 more games. He will be 19-17 in his coaching career at Virginia Tech. Right now, he is 15-17. Worst case scenario, he needs to be at 500, 18-18. That means he goes 3-1 in the last 4 games. Just my opinion.
But you know what, Charlie? Let's go and I'm glad you said that, because that was from 3-8.
Mm-hmm.
That was from 3-8.
Yeah, first season 3-8, second season 7-6. This season, where you go? You're at 5 right now.
You're at 5 right now.
Yeah,
And,
5 right now. And
we didn't see 5 last year. You know, we saw 5 last year, Brian. Me and you were traveling to Randolph-Macon.
Hey,
November 11th is when we got to 5 last year, y'all. What are you saying, Brian? Sorry.
I was just gonna say. I mean, that I think getting to 8 this year is important.
Yeah,
I think that's really important from a path forward standpoint. We're talking about the youth that's coming in. I feel like Pride's done a good job of bringing in the right type of players for what we're trying to do, both offensively and defensively. I think we're starting to see some of that pay off in terms of the talent, the youth talent, the guys that are true freshmen, true sophomore. They're going out there and they're starting to make names for themselves on this team that is fairly veteran laden. They're starting to make their presence felt. But if you want to keep that train moving, you got to put up wins. And 8 says we're on the right track to be that top 2, top 3 every year team in the ACC. And that's where we need to get back to. That's the first step, is consistently being in the conversation with the Clemsons and Miamis. You want to be mentioned in that same discussion year in, year out. You got to go out there and win 8 games this year.
All right. So I like this. Tally said 19. You said 8. I'm saying 4 because there's 4 games left in the season. Therefore, all those young bucks have the opportunity to start playing. Chris Lester said it on this program. He said the game he was looking forward to was Syracuse because he knew Keelan. I'm gonna start calling him Keelan because I don't want Mama come beat me up. But those guys now have the opportunity. There's one other guy that might have the opportunity as well. And Tally, you mentioned that you would like to see him back, and that's Tucker Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
There's an opportunity Tucker Holloway plays this last month of the season because he would keep his red shirt and 2 more years of eligibility left, which would be shoes. Shout out B Fish. Yes, we know B Fish. He could have kept his eligibility back there in the 3-8 season. But we need confidence. We remember that. I won't ever forget that.
Man.
But those
I hope somebody cares about a situation like B Fish cared about Tucker Holloway's
red shirt.
Golly, he was mad.
He was so mad. And we were like, we need to win a game. And
right.
We got to show something.
And I don't want to throw too much out. I know it's week by week, but we're just talking numbers here. 19, you get to 19, you know how many wins that gives you for the season? Gives you 9 wins for the season. You got an opportunity to win 10 games.
Hey.
Just saying, man.
But you know what?
You at least need them 8, but
hey, but you know what? That 9 does too. If things break like you want it to break.
Look at him.
Look at him coming in late.
And ready.
But Tally, and I don't want to speak it, but 9 and things break right. Y'all know where you can drive to.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, put that up there.
That's right.
There you go. There you go.
The QC and the curse.
Coming in high. Coming in fucking high. I love it.
Love it. We missed you tonight, Andretti. And I'm just gonna throw all these up here just in case.
Yeah. Hey, a reminder: throw the fucking 1999 in there. Make sure you're following on YouTube, subscribed on YouTube, and that's gonna be your chance to enter the drawing for the lovely goalpost pyramid that we got, courtesy of Press Star. So get it in there.
Absolutely. And again, we haven't decided if we're doing it early. Well, there you go. Put him up there. He's make sure you subscribe to Andretti.
That's what she said.
Make sure you subscribe to Andretti to the account, man. I don't want to pull your name out. You ain't subscribed because Tally gonna call you and be like, "You were gonna win it, but you didn't subscribe to our YouTube channel, so we can't give it to you." For all those who are
it's a 2-step process, fellas.
Effectively, put it on there. Brian, do you have a cutoff date that you need it on there by? Because I don't know if you're able to pull how quick he's going to be able to pull everything.
So, I mean, put it on. It's got to be either week 8, 9, or 10 episodes.
By
let's do end of night Saturday.
We will not accept entries Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday on any of them. So get it in there by Saturday night, late night. There you go. Love to see it, Andre.
You know what? I look at the numbers of these episodes. Ain't many people watching the episode past Saturday night. Right. And like if I didn't watch it now, I'm gonna wait for the next go round and see what we got. So
not this time. Not this time.
All the way through Saturday night. If you get in there late, I'm sorry. I will try to get you in there, but I would prefer the cutoff to be Saturday night. Just letting y'all know that. So we're gonna get as many of y'all in there as we can, and we're gonna spin her around and see what she do. And one of y'all will have that lovely, lovely pyramid, and we'll get that shipped out to you.
All righty. Well, that is going to wrap up this episode of the Boundary Corner podcast, brought to you by the Counts Family Pharmacy in Blacksburg. I'm Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler.
Jonathan Talley.
We are part of the College Huddle Network. At our website, boundarycornervt.com, you can listen to all of our episodes. You also, if you don't want to enter for the 99 for the drawing, just go there to Goalpost, click on it, go buy yourself a piece of Virginia Tech history. Again, it is the Goalpost from the 99 Boston College win that secured the Big East, that secured the trip to the national title game.
Yep. URL is right here on the banner scrolling at the bottom. It's our website /99 Goalpost. You can also hit at the top. If you go to our website, it's at the top right in the menu.
Goalpost.
It's just Goalpost.
That's all you got to do.
Yep. So hit that up.
While you are there, follow us on Twitter. There's 3,000 of y'all. We love y'all. Follow us on Facebook. Not as many, although Facebook is funny sometimes. A lot of different reasons. We got the Instagram account. The big one, subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, we are on all your favorite podcast sources. Y'all know what they are. As always, the man who played Tom Petty's Don't Back Down Tonight plays us in every week. Check him out at jasonlongmusic.com. You can
Curtis, let me cut you off real quick. Before we hit the sign off here, just want to kind of throw it back again. It's scrolling down here at the bottom, but United Way of Rutherford County in North Carolina. It's, we're a few weeks removed. You're not seeing it in the news headlines every week, but those folks still need a lot of help down there. Any money that you can contribute is going to be a big help going forward. So please continue to support those victims down there in Western North Carolina. Again, the URL's down there, unitedwayofrutherford.org. So hit that up, donate what you can. Appreciate it.
There you go. And as long as that music man goes, check him out, jasonlongmusic.com, where you can see where he's playing, check out all of his music, all of his web pages, his YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that fun stuff. We thank y'all for listening. Yes, this was Thor's Hammer tonight. And as always, let's go.
Hokies.